Hello, this is Jenny from Designs with Paper. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. I'm going to do a little bit of mixed media on canvas today, so get comfy and let's get crafty. I have these 3 small canvases. They're about 4 by 6. I think I purchased them at the dollar store. And I have these small images that were on some rice paper that I purchased at Charatino, and I will link that store down below. And they're kind of card-sized, but I thought I would make them on these canvases today. So my first plan of action is to put some texture in the background. And I have some dictionary paper, some pattern paper that looks like lined paper, and some washi tapes. And I am just going to speed through this and add some layers of both the dictionary paper, of the lined paper, of the washi tape. And all 3 canvases will have a similar layout, but a different compilation. And I learned recently that clear gesso can work as an adhesive as well as a surface preparing. Like gesso is typically prepares your surface to take paint. So I am trying my clear gesso, and spoiler alert, it totally worked. The paper stuck down to the canvas. I put another quick little layer over the top of those washi tapes to keep them in place, and it seems to be holding up really well. I really like this thicker washi tape because the pictures roll vertically instead of horizontally, and that's a little bit different. Most washi tapes, you pull them off the roll and the pictures are going horizontal, so just a kind of a neat thing. I have got no rhyme or reason to this other than to add texture to mostly the outside edges of these small canvases. I probably could have used smaller chunks of paper, but since the focal image really did take up the majority of the middle, I wasn't super concerned. One thing I could have done also before I after this step, before I moved on, was to add a little bit of texture paste behind it, but I didn't. I thought about it, I went back and forth, but I just didn't. I am using some washi tapes that have some reds and browns in them because there are a lot of reds and browns and greens in these rice paper images. So now that I have my canvases off to the side and drying, I am going to go around these images and tear the edges. It's a lot easier to blend the edges in if they are more organic than cut with scissors. I do want to add a layer of white gesso over the top of these canvases now as well. I want to push the washi tapes and the text print into the background. Washi tape does dry more translucent, and you will see that that color and that text and that print does pop back forward, but it's not in your face. Like, you could read it if you squinted, but it's not the first thing you see. So now my plan, and my camera's gone a little wacky there, is to put the images down in the middle of these canvases. And I will be using this liquid medium. This is a glossy medium. Didn't really care too much about what kind of medium it was. I just needed to get something on that would dry quickly and not make the rice paper wrinkle. And the liquid medium does the job. These canvases, all in all, took me about 70 minutes, a little over an hour, when I added in brush cleaning time and desk cleanup time and dry time. So not too bad for a little project. I am not entirely sure what I'm going to do with them, but my son's elementary school is having an art auction, so maybe I will just donate them to the school. It was just something I wanted to try. For my next step, I want to add some more texture to the background, so I've pulled out the Stampers Anonymous Tim Holtz collection, and I'm going to be using some text and postage mark stamps and this green archival ink. It's just kind of a nod to the green in the rice paper image. I'm going to be using a clear stamp block and just a couple of times on each canvas for each stamp. I don't want to go crazy here, and sometimes I tend to go a little over the top. And I like that the ink I've chosen is green because it just kind of blends into the background with the text paper and the washi tape that I put on in the first step. So I really liked how that turned out. And I made sure to turn the stamps. I didn't leave them all in their proper, air quotes here, position. So that was kind of fun. I kind of flipped them around and did the text even sideways. So that was kind of super fun. So the next step is to make this rice paper blend into my background. And I have pulled out some distress acrylic paints. I have old paper, picket fence, no, antique linen, old paper antique linen. I have, the brown is the vintage photo, and the green one is mowed lawn, I think. And I started putting the paint on with the paint sponge, but it was just too heavy, and it was too hard to mix the colors to fade them back out. So I just started picking it up with my fingers and a damp baby wipe, and I even tried a brush for a minute, and again, it was just, I could have more control with my fingers. This is sped up super fast, obviously. I think it's like 4 or 8 times normal speed. Sometimes I wish I could move this fast, because then my house cleaning and my laundry folding could get done super fast, and it wouldn't feel like it was such a drag. I would have way more time to craft, right? I did go around the edges of all of the canvases with that sponge when I was finished to kind of make sure that the paint went around the edge and kind of cleaned it up a little bit. So here are the 3 canvases. I do have one final step I want to go with. It requires me to add another layer of that clear gesso, though, because I want to bring in my Derwent Inktense pencil and add some shading, but not to the image. I want to add shading to those strips of washi tape and paper I put behind the image to kind of bring that texture back to the foreground. So Derwent Inktense pencils are an ink in pencil form that you draw on and then wet with a wet paintbrush. And once all the pigment has been activated and then dries, it is permanent. It does not smear like a traditional watercolor or watercolor pencil. So it's kind of like the perfect medium for art journal pages. And I am just kind of taking that pencil lightly around the edges of the torn paper, the washi tape, just what I can see without overdoing it, and adding just a little bit even to the outside edge. I did add a little bit to the shadow of this door. I felt like that shadow had gotten lost a little bit. But then I decided I didn't like the way that the water on the rice paper reacted, so I said, yeah, no more of that. And I will do the same thing on all 3 canvases. I'm just going to go over those edges and add some shadowing in to the texture in the background. And that's just, I don't know, I liked how it looked. It kind of reminded me that there was something more to the canvas than just this rice paper image. So I'm working on the 3rd one. So we have a barn, a bridge, and what's the other one? A door, duh. I couldn't remember what the 3rd one is. I had to turn around and look at it. A barn, a bridge, and a door. And they're kind of vintagey photos. They've been printed on rice paper, like I said. And rice paper is an interesting medium to work with. I'm finding it quite fun. So thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed the fast forward version of this mixed media project. Do me a favor, give me a thumbs up if you liked the video, and hey, leave me a comment. I hope you have a really fabulous day. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel and watching my video. I have linked a couple other videos here for you to watch, as well as a subscribe button. If you have not done so already, I would love it if you subscribe to my channel. And if you know somebody who would like it, please feel free to share. Have a great day.